Hello, and welcome back to Down the Track. And the oldest and most fiercest rivalry in international cricket is back. It's Australia versus England. It's the Ashes down under, starting on December 8th. And yeah, it's in Australia this time. England have not been favorites in a long time going to Australia. I think the last time they won was in 2010-11 under Andrew Strauss. And ever since then, they've struggled. Even before that, they didn't manage to win consistently, if at all, actually. And I think something that England will have to learn, and something that will give them confidence, is that India tour last year. India showed that Australia is a tough place to tour, but you can grind it out. Even with their reserves, they came out and they fought it out against Australia, and they took them to the wire. Australia will definitely want to learn from those mistakes, and England, will be wary of that because Australia won't be making those same mistakes that they made that summer, last summer actually. And for England, it's going to be a strength test. It's going to be a tough tour. If you ask all the players, the ex-players like Nasser Hussain, Atherton, all these guys will tell you that Australia is the toughest place to tour for them, especially for an Englishman. I heard Nasser Hussain saying in an interview actually saying that when you go to Australia, you're not and that's how it is on the field sledging. You go off the field, you go for a meal, you get sledged over there as well. So it's not far from especially if you're an English guy, then you have to be prepared for that. So it's a mental battle as well as a physical battle, and yeah, they'll have to be geared up. We saw how Siraj was sledged in the last year. People were thrown out as well in the stands, but this Australian crowd can be ruthless, and England will have to be prepared for that. And more than that, it's on the field as well. The likes of Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, these guys are at you, constantly, and then you have Nathan Lyon coming in and bowling those off spinners. So it's not going to be easy for England. A big news for them is that Ben Stokes is back. Whether he's a bit undercooked, he hasn't played cricket recently. That's a separate question. But just his sheer presence is really going to help England. He has that winning mentality. Yes, he's gone through a tough period, but he's coming back. He has that in him. He's gotten a good rest as well, and hopefully he doesn't look too undercooked. He doesn't have that many games under his belt recently, but I'm sure a man like him, he just needs a few deliveries that he can get back in. Also, you don't want him to get injured very quickly, so they have to be careful in the workload they give him, especially with the ball. But I think Ben Stokes is someone who can really carry England. He's going to be a key player going into this Test series. You have Joe Root, who had an amazing winter last season. If he can replicate that winter this season, England have a very good chance. He scored double hundred in India. He scored in Sri Lanka. If we can replicate that in Australia, along with Ben Stokes there, I think it'll be a big advantage for England. And England will have to go with the best 11. They can't rotate too much like they did last winter. Yes, if somebody's injured, then you make that rotation, but they shouldn't have those preempt plans that, look, Anderson is not going to be the fourth test because he needs a break or everything. If he needs a break, you make that decision after the third test. You don't make it, like now, which was happening last winter. Everyone had their schedule, and they knew exactly which game they're going to play and not play. It's because of this squad rotation. But I just feel against Australia, in Australia, you have to have your best 11. If there's a injury or something like that, then it's okay. You rest them or whatever. You can don't have a choice. But otherwise, you play your best 11, and that's what England will have to come up with. What is their best 11? They're going to play Jack Leach. If they do, then are they going to go with three seamers plus Ben Stokes, or they're going to play four seamers and no Jack Leach? That's one question they'll have to go with. We saw India in one of the games not playing the spinners, but I think England, will benefit Leach by holding one end up, and Ben Stokes playing the fourth seamer role. I think he can do it. There was talk that no, his workload needs to be managed, but I think if they're going three seamers plus Ben Stokes plus Jack Leach, Stokes' workload can be managed, and he can bowl those fresh spells coming in. We saw what he did in the last Ashes. Someone like him can contribute bat and ball. That Headingley Test match, people remember his innings, and why not? But it's his spell with the ball as well that I remember, picking up those 5 wickets and restricting Australia. Not restricting them, they still made a lot of runs, but it could have been much more. So credit to him for that. So yeah, that's why Ben Stokes is important. The bowlers, I would go with Anderson, Broad, and probably, there's a tough call between Mark Wood and Ollie Robinson. I'll probably initially go with Mark Wood just because I want that extra pace, and then you have Ben Stokes to bowl the seam up deliveries. But someone like Ollie Robinson will be called upon during the series, of course, as well. So yeah, there will be plenty of options to choose from. With the bat, I think apart from uh, like Ollie Pope and yeah, Ollie Pope will probably play, but apart from that, I think it's the batting kind of picks itself up. And a lot will be reliant on Joe Root and the openers as well. The openers have to get off to a good start. We didn't see that, especially in that India tour. The openers did struggle. So I think against Australia, if they can give that platform, Joe Root can come and capitalize on that. Then they have that middle order of Pope, Ben Stokes, and Butler who can really shore up the runs along with Joe Root, of course. From Australia's side of things, their 11 is out, so I'll just go through that. They've already announced the 11 a couple of days, 3 days before the test match. So you have David Warner, Marcus Harris to open the batting, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith. That's going to be the core middle order. Travis Head, he struggled against India, but he does score those odd 50s. Consistency will be key with him. I think he's a good player, but he just needs to be consistent. And Cameron Green, in the India series, really impressed me. An excellent all-rounder, and he will play that Stokes type role. Of course, he's not on that level yet, but he will play that type role for Australia. I would like to see him given more overs. I thought he was a bit underbowled in that last series. But yeah, Cameron Green with the bat as well can really, shore up that middle lower order, finish innings off, and also build partnerships with the tail and make sure they extend the innings and don't get out early. So Cameron Green. And then Alex Carey, wicket keeping. That's a massive call. I really like him as a keeper. And I haven't seen him consistently in the test arena, but I think even in the 4 or 5 day domestic in Australia, I haven't seen him, but I think he will be a good shout for Australia. And everyone was touting him as the next Gilchrist. Of course, he's far from that yet, but he can, stake a claim with a good Ashes series under his belt. Then Pat Cummins, the captain, Mitchell Starc, Nathan Lyon, and Josh Hazlewood. So their bowling really, picks itself up, but I think Australia will have to rotate their bowling this time in the series. They can't do what they did against India, where each bowler plays every single test match. I know no one wants to be dropped, no one wants to rest, they all want to play, but the 5 test match series is going to get hot. The conditions are going to be difficult for the bowlers, they're going to be challenging, and even if you get England out for like 36, like India got out, you still need to rotate your bowlers, I feel, in these conditions. I know there's criticism against that, and people saying that no, this is their job, they have to play every test match, but I think for Australia to keep the bowlers fresh, it's very, very important, and they will have to do that. You can't just keep bowling the same bowlers, and also it'll give England, like India started getting used to them. Yes, they got India all off for 36, but then they kept bowling. Then by the time the Gabba came up, India knew exactly what they're going to get from Cummins. They knew what they're going to get from Starc. They knew what they're going to get from Lyon and Hazlewood. But if you get a Jai Richardson in, or like a different type bowler, someone who's fast, someone who swings the ball, then it keeps that unpredictability factor there as well, and keeps England on their toes. So I think that's something that that Australia should look at this summer and rotate their bowlers for sure. And again, a lot will be on Pat Cummins, the captain. I think Steve Smith will play a role as vice captain, because Cummins will be batting, bowling, fielding. The guy is a superb athlete. He's a superb professional, but captaincy won't be easy, because he'll have to do all that. Plus, captain use his brain, in between deliveries, in between overs. So I think this is where Steve Smith's role will be very important. I think Smith can guide him over here and also help make decisions on the field. I think you'll see that, especially when Cummins is bowling, that you'll see Smith change around the field a bit. I'm sure that's what's going to happen. They want Cummins as the face, but I think Smith will help him as much as possible, just because of pure workload. And for me, the key player for Australia going into this, of course, Steve Smith and Labuschagne, I think they're going to have great series. I think they're solid at home in Australia. They didn't have the best series against India. Every time they came out, I thought they're going to score 100. Labuschagne did, but still, I think, they will have a good series. But for me, David Warner is the key player, because if David Warner gives them starts and gets them off to flyers like he did again in that Pakistan series, or even in the Ashes before, then England are under the pump straight away. If you're 100 for no loss, it already deflates you. If you're 50 for 3, 70 for 2, then England will always be in it. So David Warner is someone who can score runs and score them at a quick rate, and really pile up the runs for Australia. He can score double hundreds, triple hundreds, and I think he's going to be the dangerous player. So David Warner is the player to watch out for. With the ball, I'm going to go Mitchell Starc. I think he had a poor summer last year, and he's someone, I think he got burnt out towards the end of the thing. He had a decent T20 World Cup, but he did get hit around there as well. But I think for me, I want to see him bowl in bursts. I want to see him used in a different way, and not just long spells. I think come in and be effective, try to target the stumps. If you get hit, you get hit, but target the stumps. And if you can get that ball to reverse swing, then it's nothing like it. I think that's something that Australia desperately want, which is start to reverse swing the ball. So Yeah, I think these are players to watch out for. From England side of things, I'm not going to go look past Ben Stokes. I think he is the player to watch out with bat, with ball, with field, and in field. But if you just want to look apart from that, then Joe Root, I think he's one batsman I really want to see. He had a great winter last season, even in the summer, some great innings against India. He's been in outstanding form. He's probably the top test batsman this season, going out there. So he's one player I want to watch out for with the ball. There's a lot of talk about Anderson and Broad, coming towards the end of their careers, but Ashes are still going. I can't believe it, man. Every Ashes series since I don't know when, 2007 or 8, 9, he's been playing every single Ashes series. He's there again, and I want to see Anderson again. I remember 2010, 11 when he was shutting up Mitchell Johnson, he's having that banter. I want to see what he's got now. One last go. If the man is fit as a fiddle, so I expect him to fight. If he couldn't, I think he would have retired. I'm sure he's still capable of bowling at top level for for his standards. And yeah, really looking forward to Jimmy Anderson with the ball. And yeah, this is going to be a great series. I'm tipping Australia to win it because they're the home team. Because England do struggle, especially in Australia, and Australia do have the likes of Smith, Labuschagne, and Warner, who are really good batsmen in these conditions, and they have an outstanding bowling lineup. Another thing why I keep Australia favorites is Nathan Lyon. Nathan Lyon is someone who can really utilize pitches, like whether it's Adelaide, whether it's Sydney in particular. Even at the gap, I can get that extra bounce. He's someone, even if you don't give him turn, he'll get you that bounce and he'll pick up wickets. I think he was a bit unlucky as well. India played him really well. Rishabh Pant got after him, and I think that's something England will have to do. But you also need your luck when you're attacking him, because we saw Rishabh Pant, the stump missing, a missing stumping by Tim Payne, and then some drop catches. So that's where England have to be a bit careful. But yeah, Nathan Lyon is someone who makes Australia a tad bit stronger, or much stronger, compared to England going into this series. But this is Test cricket. Anything can happen. Really looking forward to it. I really hope that England can put up a fight here and really take Australia till the wire. That last series in the Ashes was 2-2, was outstanding. We saw that Ben Stokes game, which was brilliant as well. Hopefully, we can get a replica innings from someone there, if not Stokes himself, and we get to see some close Test matches with all the crowd in. I'm really looking forward to it. So make sure you like and subscribe. We will get you the daily content from the Ashes and the rest of the cricketing world. Thank you so much for joining me for now. But take care and have a great night.